If you are thinking about starting recording videos or you want to see how you can improve your production quality a little bit, today I'm going to share with you a very simple setup and some options that you can implement to have good enough videos to start publishing and building your channel and building your business if you want to build the business. So first of all, camera. What am I using for camera? Right now I'm using iPhone 12 Pro Max. It is not the newest phone, it is good enough camera, and I'm even using the front camera. Even though the back camera is better, the front camera is more convenient, and that is what I'm using. Now, if you want an alternative, if for some reason you don't want to use your phone and you want a good enough camera, a camera that you can check out is Canon G7X. It is a very good HD camera. It does not record in 4K. And another limitation of this camera is it does not have any way for you to have a professional audio attached to the camera. You can record it separately with something like DJI, and we will talk about this, but you cannot plug it into the camera and record. However, the audio that you get from this camera is good enough, and sometimes I also record separate audio as an option. However, for vlogging or simple YouTube videos, this camera is good enough, very good actually. And I also really like that it records in little pieces, so you don't have very heavy files. You have smaller files. It automatically divides it into smaller files. It makes it easier for you to upload it and to edit it. Now, if you're going to use your iPhone to record, I will definitely recommend using an external microphone. Today, I'm using this microphone. This is the microphone I often use. It's called DJI, and it comes with something you plug right into your iPhone. And then you have two of those, so you can interview someone as well. And I think you can also buy an option where you have only one microphone. And it clips to your clothes, and quality is amazing. Quality is very good. However, there is one issue with this microphone that I noticed. I haven't heard other people reporting on it, but I have done a few videos where I set up everything correctly, everything looked right. I could see that it was working, the light was green, everything was fine, and still when I looked at the video there was no audio. However, I found a way around it. There's a way to check if the audio is recording once you plug in DJI into your iPhone. There's an app called Teleprompter. So if you go to Teleprompter and you record a little clip, just 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, you speak in that clip and then you check, you will be able to hear if audio is on or off. Because if you try to do that test using your normal camera, you will not be able to hear the audio if the thing that comes with DJI that goes into the iPhone is plugged in. But with Teleprompter app, somehow you will be able to, and this will tell you if everything is set up correctly. And in that situation, if you can hear the audio in Teleprompter with the test, then you will be able to hear the audio in my experience when you record just with a normal camera, like what I'm doing right now. And another microphone you can use is Blue Yeti. Blue Yeti is a great microphone. It's very, very reliable in my experience. It always works. I never had issues with it. Whereas, for example, if I would use something like Sony, which gives you much better audio quality, sometimes it would record, sometimes it would not record, and that would be completely unacceptable if I am interviewing someone for a podcast, for example, because then I'm not only wasting my time, I'm also wasting time of the guest. So I'm using this one for that reason, that it is incredibly reliable and audio is good enough even for podcasting. And then make sure that you use this to get a better sound and to avoid some issues such as sound when you are speaking. So what you could do is, instead of buying DJI, if you could only buy one microphone, and if you also record in podcasts and you are on Zoom, you use this one, you plug it into your laptop directly. You don't need a mixer, you don't need a recorder like you do for other microphones like Sony. And you can record your audio separately, and then you record your video separately, and then you sync them during editing, and it is very easy to do in something like Premiere Pro. Now you also will need some kind of tripod, so you are able to use your hands, have your notes in your hand if you need, or just even stand further from the camera. And generally it just looks better versus if you are very close and you're holding it in your hand, like a selfie style video. And in the description, I'm going to list all the equipment that I'm speaking about today. And if I'm not able to find specific equipment I'm currently using or specific tool I'm currently using, I'm going to find something as similar as possible. Now, just with those two items, camera and microphone, we basically covered the most important equipment you will need. However, let's also cover some other things you need to think about. And of course, the third thing that you need to think about is lighting. For lighting, what I prefer to use is natural light. You want to stand right in front of the window, and you want to find the time when the light is not too harsh, and you can test it by putting on your camera and seeing what it looks like. And you can test various windows in your house and various times of the day and find the time and window where you look best and use that window as your go-to window to record. If you want to use artificial lights, I have those as well. I do not like them as much. Yes, they give you freedom, you can record at night, and maybe that's the only time you can record, then of course use it. But if you have an opportunity to use natural lights, I would greatly recommend using natural lights. If you want to use an artificial light, what I currently use is a ring light, and I use it for podcast recordings and Zoom sessions. I have another office where there is no window in front of my table, and so I have this big ring light, and that is the light that I'm using for that setup. And then if you end up using this camera, you also will need something called SD card. I'm using SanDisk Extreme Pro 64 gigabytes. I find 32 is too small, 128 good, but I'm always a little bit worried that the disk will get corrupted and then I may lose everything I have on it. So I go with 64. It seems to work very well, and I have been using 64 gigabytes for years and years and years, even for our huge shoots where we have this huge crew and we have 4 days of recordings and 4 or 5 professional cameras. We use 64 gigabytes SanDisk as our SD cards. And then to store your footage, you can put it on Dropbox, of course, but you can also have hard drive. And what I use is WD hard drives. It's called My Passport, WD.com. I buy it on Amazon, and I'm going to link it as well down below in description. Once you recorded your footage, of course, you will need to also edit it a little bit. Even if you speak without any issues, I would still edit because you want to include some animation when you can. It helps with retention. It helps the viewer feel that the video is a little bit shorter than it really is. It keeps the viewer watching for a little longer than they would otherwise on average. For editing, I use Adobe Premier Pro. It takes a little bit of time to learn it, and there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and I can create a tutorial for you on how I edit. It is a very good editing tool. This week, actually, I was telling my team, let's try something new. Maybe we can save some of the time we are spending on editing, so let's try Descript. We signed up for Descript. We edited one video, and it turned out to be a disaster, and we had to re-edit it completely because when we exported it, the resolution was significantly lower, and so of course we could not use that video. So I would recommend edit with whatever is convenient for you, and if you want to use a good editing tool, I would recommend Adobe Premier Pro. It takes some time to learn, but it will give you a very good quality tool where you can polish your video and edit it very carefully so it is very smooth and pleasant for people to watch. And then for thumbnail editing, we use Canva. Canva is a phenomenal tool, very affordable, and there are a lot of templates there, and you can also create your own template. I have a tutorial on how I create thumbnails in Canva. I'm going to link it somewhere in description or on screen at the end. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend you check it out. I think you will find it very easy to use. Good luck with your recordings. Good luck with editing. Remember, this is a time on YouTube where you don't need highly edited videos anymore. People are craving authenticity, they're craving real people. So what you need is just to be genuine and focus on delivering value for people, bringing value, and then trying your best to give good quality, but don't stress out. As you can see, you don't need that much equipment, you don't need that much to be successful. And next, I recommend you watch a video how to look good on camera. It will be somewhere on screen. It includes some of the very powerful tips that will help you improve how you come across. And I'm going to see you in the next video.